Hey y'all, we're about to do AR, ER, and IR verbs in the present tense. I know it's your favorite thing, and we spent most of Spanish 1 doing this, so they should be a very good review for you. So let's go over the AR endings really fast. Okay, so you know a verb is an AR verb, obviously if it ends in an AR. Like hablar ends with AR, we know it's an AR verb, so it's going to get these endings. So the yo ending is O, the tú is as, el is a, nosotros is amos, vosotros is ais, and ellos is an. Okay, notice they all have A's in them because they're an AR verb. Moving on to ER, they're exactly the same except they're with an E instead of an A. And once again, you know a verb is an ER verb if it obviously ends with an ER. So the yo form is O, tú is es, el is e, nosotros is hemos, vosotros is eis, and ellos is en. Exactly the same. You do the exact same process as you do with the AR verbs. Now moving on to IR verbs, these are a little different because they share some of the endings with the ER verbs. So let's look at them. We have O, es, e, and en. So the yo, tú, el, and ustedes form all share the ER verbs, share the endings with the ER verbs. The only two that are different are the nosotros and vosotros. In this case, they get imos and is. Okay? So on vosotros, it always has an accent. If it's an AR verb, it's going to be on the A. If it's an ER verb, it's going to be on the E. And if it's an IR verb, it's going to be on the I. Okay, so now that we have our endings down, let's go ahead to our conjugation rules. And we only have 2 of them. The very first one is to drop the ending. Okay, so let's look at these right here. We have hablar, leer, and escribir. So step number 1 is just to take off the endings. We take off the AR, the ER, and the IR. What we're left with right here is called the stem. So this is the stem, this is the ending. Then we go to step number 2, which is to add the ending that matches the subject. The endings are what we just gave you, and if the subject is an I, we have to add the I ending for that form of the verb. So let's look at this one. We have our stems from the very last thing, and we want to add the L ending. So for an AR verb, it's going to be a. For an ER verb, it's going to be e, and for an IR verb, it's going to be e as well. So what we're saying right here, él habla, he speaks. Él lee, he reads. And él escribe, he writes. Okay, it's very important that this ending matches the subject because this ending tells us what subject it is. If we erase this L right here, we would still know that it's a he because of the ending. So in Spanish, you don't really have to have a subject because the ending of the verb tells you what the subject is. Okay, so let's do some practice. We have our verb hablar. So step number 1 is to drop the ending. So right here, we're going to put a little box around it and scribble it out, and we're left with habla. Okay, so I've just done it really, really fast. So we have habla, habla, habla. We put it in all the blanks. Okay, so this is the finished product of step number 1. Okay, then step number 2 is to go back and add the ending that matches the subject. So that's what we've gone back and done. So this is an AR verb, so we've done all of the AR endings. So we have hablo, I talk, hablas, you talk, habla, he or she talks, hablamos, we talk, habláis, y'all talk, and hablan, they talk. So all we did was take off the AR and then put our AR endings in every single blank. Okay, we do have a few irregular ones that we're just going to have to learn. So estar, and it means to be, and these are temporary things like emotions and your location. So let's look at them. We have estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, and then están. Notice that all 4 in the bottom get an accent on the A, so this is one of the things that makes it irregular. And also the yo form gets a Y. We really don't know why. But that's estar, it means to be, so I am, you are, he is, she is, and they're very temporary things. Don't forget your accents. Whenever you talk, you don't really have an accent. So I don't have an accent when I hear myself talk. So all the ones with the I's, they don't have accents. Then we also have dar, and it means to give. For some reason, it gets the crazy Y in the yo form just like Estar does. So we have doi, das, da, damos, dice, dan. Notice right here in the vosotros, it does not get an accent. It's only one syllable, and so that means it's already stressed. There's no need for an accent there. Other than that, other than the yo form and vosotros, it's completely normal. Then we get to ir. Okay, ir means to go. It's different from an IR ending. Okay, so this is the verb, and then the IR endings are things that attach to verbs. So let's look at this one. So we have voy, vas, va, vamos, vais, van. It's exactly like dar, except instead of having a D, this one has a V. Okay, so this is I go, you go, he or she goes, we go, y'all go, they go. And one other thing, with the verb ir, there's an ah that always follows it because we're always going to a place.